This was supposed to be a review of Mega Man again, a clunky but ambitious fan-crafted remake of the original Blue Bomber title. Unfortunately, the download on itch.io is nothing but a single executable and keeps triggering all of the antivirus stuff on my PC. I attempted to run it through an external source, but it's slow and choppy. Why not disable my antivirus? Well, I'm not all that familiar with this developer, and frankly, it rubs me the wrong way when I see someone requesting a donation with property owned by another company. See my Hayato's Journey review for a full breakdown of my thoughts on that slimy behavior. Still, I'm always up to replay Rock's first adventure. Well, almost always.
I'll finish this.
I decided to take a mulligan and recommend an older fan game homebrew instead. For whatever reason, I thought I had already covered this, but evidently not. I've reviewed Mega Man Unlimited as well as Rock and Roll. Both are pretty solid, with the latter being the better, but this Rock Force, well, it's on a whole other level. It's over a decade old, so I had some issues getting it to run at a steady 60 FPS or more. It was either 30 or choppy, which is weird. I really have no explanation for this. So after days of struggling with capture gear and poorly optimized fan games, here it is. This is going to be a pretty short review. I mean, it's pretty hard to care all that much when my videos have been performing so poorly. Like, are you seeing this? It's embarrassing. It's really disheartening. Goldwater DLS dropped this thing in 2013, and it's remarkable for a few reasons. Firstly, it's extremely story focused. There's a whole melodramatic thing going on here with Rock and a robot called Justice Man. It's fine. Folks who appreciate fan fiction will probably get a kick out of it. That's not me, but hey, effort went into the writing and illustrations, so credit where it's due. There are quite a few options, but none of my controllers were recognized, even pads from the era. People bitch and complain about this stuff, but it's not exactly difficult to load up a button mapping workaround. I watched one dude who takes himself way too seriously lose his mind about this for a good percentage of his evaluation of this game, or I should say his review. I just couldn't help but roll my eyes. Load up a program and be done with it. It's not too tough. Difficulty-wise, this thing is only a little trickier than the hardest of Capcom entries. Every hazard, enemy, and obstacle is exhibited in a safe area before the gloves come off. Most titles in the series excel at this, but Rock Force has some very new, extremely clever traps and gimmicks. They're all introduced in a readable, sensible way. Most of these are extremely clever, like impressively so. Check some of this stuff out. Alright, so you're probably noticing some playable robot masters, and yeah, that's the main selling point, or free downloading point, as it were. After defeating any of the brand spanking new bosses, a legacy character is unlocked. Rock Force, get it? Elect, Cut, Wheelie Wheeler. These can be swapped out on the stage select screen at any time, each with their own skills displayed in the menu screen. I dig this stuff, it really opens up the game. 4 more big bads are introduced after the initial 8 are put to bed, but here's the twist. These are different depending on the last robot master defeated in that first batch. Man, that's just so cool. These are the types of things I'd like to see the Big C tackle in an official capacity. Anything different, really. Badass. Using the Rock Force gang is definitely encouraged for these latter half levels. So really, you're getting all the new weapon upgrades as well as the ones the returning robots are armed with, making for an enormous arsenal. A few of the upgrades feel similar, but I'd say there's enough variety to appeal to most. Rush Coil, Flip Top Eddie, Tangle the Cat, Boom Boom Boom, all usable straight out of the gate. the little feline fella is hands down my favorite, as it wrecks a lot of shielded foes. They're all assigned to the weapon cycle, so swapping them out with a button or key is possible, fantastic. Any game in this series that doesn't allow everything to be swapped through in this sort of way is doing it wrong. Having the item shown above the character's head is a big bonus as well. Kevin, that's with a bunch of V's and N's and Gold Water DLS's tunes kick ass. It all sounds like official franchise music. I'd have some of these harmonies and beats in my head for hours after putting the controller down. Props to anyone who steers clear of the familiar pieces and dares to be different. Terrific stuff. Graphically, Rock Force is serviceable. The amount of unique sprites is impressive. The animations for running, ladder climbs, look at the Megaman go. Who knew he had a mane of long black hair? Some stages look better than others. Cryptman, yeah, Cryptman has a cool aesthetic, but the assets look like they were drawn in an ancient paint program by a third grader. No hate, but yeah, the illustrations are inconsistent at best, and Cryptman, Justice Man, well, I suppose we did officially have some pretty goofy man characters in the Capcom games, but we're kind of stretching it here, I think. Item shops with useful gear for once, energy balancer straight out of the gate, Charade Man, climbing, clingy, Contra 3 Alien Wars mini-boss battle, useful, ricochets, directional arrows on conveyor belts, Cerberus, robo-demons from Crypt, Hells, Shrinky Shrunken Megamite, half-damage spike, defense boot pair, Charade Man, shit brick robo-turds from Ghastly Gorilla Mitts, Charade Man, Fuse Man? Fuse Man, not entirely reliant on spike traps for difficulty, spikes. Charade Man, sensibly designed robot masters with great patterns to learn, quality of life menu navigation, exit to the menu anytime, Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn, Charade Man, top hats, stomper squish squash squiggets, these are needed in every proper Mega Man gown.
Squish squash squiggets, stomper 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 squish squash squiggets.
Virus outbreaks and how they switch swapped controls. Gimmicks, generous, check. Points, point is this oldie is phenomenal. Check it out. I've intentionally not shown any late game footage. Normally I showcase stuff right up until the very end while avoiding spoilers, but it's kinda hard here. I'd say everything past the first 8 Robot Masters is not only interesting, but surprising. To show any of it off would be ruining the experience. Artistically, Mega Man Rock Force doesn't always impress, but in motion, it's one of the baddest of all asses action platformers I've ever played, official or otherwise. This developer has a knack for designing levels that flow remarkably well. Next time on this channel, one more Mega Man game, because I'm a glutton for punishment. I guess, stay tuned.